This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1188. Ooh, 1188. And it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, our managing editor, downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
And once again, the cool rappers are shunning us. No. Emily, you told me not to make it a sad thing when they're not on. But I miss our friends.
Every single week, you are always incapable of doing that.
It hurts every time.
Yeah. Me and Jesse texted about it where we sobbed together.
Yeah,
so
are we not good enough?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Anyway, Jesse, before we get rolling, we have a great show coming up. Sean Curran, worship leader Sean Curran, from Passion. He's coming up. We also have, a twist with the feedback segment at the end of the show. We have Relevant Buzz, all that stuff. But before we get going, I don't like calling back to previous episodes, but on the last episode, you ended up telling us about this 20-minute story about Robert Kennedy Jr.
Yes.
hiding a bear in Central Park.
Yeah, and that was economically told as well. It's 20 minutes. We're lucky we got in under that.
So I saw somebody comment on it on social media and I don't know which one of you kept saying he has 1%, but you need to get out more often, and sent us a web poll where RF Kennedy Jr. has 40% of the vote. Now, granted, this was just an online web poll where Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s fans flooded it. I'm saying this isn't.
To be fair, this poll results came after the bear story was released.
That is true.
Yeah.
So that could be accurate.
So I kind of got into it with the guy. First of all, number one, it was me saying 1% throughout. I was making a joke. Number two, why are you sending us a web poll? To should prove that Robert Kennedy Jr. is way more popular than the joke I was making. And so I then sent back credible polls to this person showing that he has between 4 and 6% of the vote. Yeah. That was not good enough for this guy. I got into a whole argument with this guy about the popularity of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Apparently they're passionate out there, dude. I had no idea. I'm just warning you, if you continue to tell the RFK Jr. story, don't make any snide comments about him not being a popular candidate.
Here's the thing. I don't care, because I probably wouldn't have responded and probably wouldn't even read it, to be honest with you. And certainly would have not cared enough to attempt to correct it in any way.
I know, but I can't let ignorance go uncorrected. I
can. I would live a miserable life these days if I didn't have the capability of doing that. I feel like it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
I know.
And look, the other thing too is people just take anything. This is a whole tangent, and I think we've covered it before on here. People just take political stuff so personally. It's dude, you don't know the guy. You don't know the person you're voting for personally. Why does it offend you if I say, if people be like, I don't like that comedian, they said something about the person I'm voting for. It's well, what does that have to do with anything? Yeah, you know what I mean? Or people will stop listening to an artist or something because, they like this person. So what does that have to do with? Why does people take it so personally?
That was how I felt when I was in elementary school, and the chicks became they said that stuff about George W. Bush, and then everyone in the South turned on them. And I remember thinking but I love Goodbye Earl. How am I supposed to go my whole life without listening to them? And then I realized I actually don't care what they have to say about political leaders. I can still listen to this bop and have a great old time.
Yeah, exactly. I think everyone just has to lighten up a little. That would be, if I was politician, that'd be look, even if you support me and people are bashing me, lighten up. Who cares? That's fine. Okay. I just don't get it,
So just to be clear, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has between 4 and 6% of the vote in prospective voters in national credible polls like the Wall Street Journal and other not online popularity polls. Just FYI.
Are you trying to say that the internet is lying? This is breaking news. This is the first I've heard of this.
We covered that last week. That you're correct. The internet is wrong. But
Thank you. That's what I was leading to.
Yeah.
Emily, did you hear? Speaking of Jesse's thing about the kind of shut up and dribble, kind of don't, celebrities talking about whatever.
Using a sports reference, yes.
I saw a Fox News lady say that she took her daughter, young 8-year-old daughter, to a Taylor Swift concert. And she went off on a whole thing that Taylor apparently mentioned something about a candidate, and the commentator lady was like, listen, whatever you do on your personal time, how you vote, how you feel is your business. That's fine. But when I'm paying $65 to come see you perform, you better keep your mouth shut and just perform. It was kind of like a dance monkey kind of a thing. It was like, whoa.
Where is she getting $65 tickets? That's actually
she
the
didn't
bigger
say
question.
65. Yeah, internet, don't correct me. She was just saying, when I pay money to come see you perform. I was like, I don't.
Well, okay. What's funny is as you know, I am basically running a Taylor Swift updates account on my personal time. I don't think she's talked about a single political candidate. If anything, she's been very silent about politics, which is fine.
That's what I thought, but I think she has a reputation of being more liberal. I think I know
what's happening. She posted a picture, like after every show, like kind of, the weekends of she'll do the shows, she'll post a couple pictures from it. There was one picture that was going viral this week because one of her backup dancers, it's just like the back of her is like walking away in the background, and like Taylor's on stage in her, pink sparkly suit with the guitar. But the back of this dancer, the silhouette kind of looks like Kamala Harris.
She's wearing a pantsuit. Like the lady is wearing a pantsuit. I saw that picture.
And so people thought like, oh, she edited a picture of Kamala Harris and put it on her Instagram. Not true. It's just a backup dancer who happens to have the same silhouette as Kamala Harris. Don't know what that means, but that's all it was. But people were like, this is her endorsing it. And I'm like, are we really at the point where we think she's putting the silhouette of a political candidate in the background of her fourth Instagram picture? And that's her like getting political. Like, what does that say about us?
Well, the Illuminati works in codes and secrecy.
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff,
so. It was all intentional. It's a big psyop here.
100%.
But yeah, I think, again, my whole thing is, I just don't really care if people have opinions that differ than my own. It doesn't bother me, Well,
my opinion is that you're wrong, Jesse. So what do you think about that?
I'm cool.
Jesse's a big Ted Nugent fan, huge Hulk Hogan guy, big Kid Rock fan. He doesn't care.
I mean,
wow, you just named some elite people there.
No, but the thing is, I'm a fan of their cultural contributions. I didn't even know they're political. Are you suggesting they're political? Because I'm just a big old WWF guy. So this is new information to me because I don't even pay attention to political opinions.
Wait, what is the difference between WWF and WWE?
Okay, first of all, it's just his age. That's the difference. Oh. It was the WWF as we were kids. And then the World Wildlife Fund sued the WWF for the logo, for the WWF nomenclature.
To be fair, WWF was the OG. That's what Hulk Hogan was originally.
It was a huge shakeup in our society.
During
WWF
his heyday,
was just living their life. Macho Man, $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Came along for it.
Yeah, whatever. They're just living their life, thriving. And then the Wildlife Federation came and said, you have our logo, sued them, and they had to legally change their name to something not WWF. So they became World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE. It's the exact same organization, minus it's pre-lawsuit from the wildlife people, post-lawsuit.
In the glory days, it stole the name from a group helping panda bears, right? And it was awesome. And it was a rock star thing to do, to take a charity's name. And it was the rock star days. Now it's gone too mainstream, man. Like this was, if you wanted to, when we were kids, if you wanted to watch it didn't come on TV. It was too raw for TV. There was no like Monday Night Raw or whatever they have. It was, you had to go to the video store and you had to rent videotapes of these matches, which I did occasionally as like an 8-year-old. And they were outrageous. And, like I said, they were ripping off trademarks, just doing the American thing,
Just ripping off trademarks. I don't think they checked. I don't think they were ripping anybody off. I don't think they went through the due diligence of getting their trademarks.
I don't think they were like, what we should do? We should find a group that helps animals and we should steal their name. I don't think that was the case. But I also think someone probably, realize it and they're like, nah, sounds too cool. Let's just keep it. It was a very American thing to do. Like, we're taking this and we're asking no apologies. We'll wait for a lawsuit like 20 years from now and who cares? I love it.
And that'll be someone else's issue to deal with. Yeah.
Someone will deal with that when we're long gone,
I'm putting some in the chat. There's a fan event. You got to turn up the volume for a minute. There's a fan event called the Machoverse. and it's a convention where everybody who attends dresses up as Macho Man Randy Savage.
Good.
I'm talking black, white, young, old. Everybody is in the persona of Macho Man Randy Savage of different iterations. It is amazing. You got to listen to it. Turn it up.
Welcome to Macho Con! Yeah.
Someone is in a casket.
I got backup now. Macho Man assemble! Yeah.
I would pay so much money to just be in this room. This looks so entertaining to me.
I would pay a lot of money to not be in this room.
I love this so much because, again, this was from the glory days. They're like, what's the character? Give him some wraparound sunglasses and cowboy hat and a bunch of Slim Jims, and just he'll figure it out, man. There's no real ethos to it. That is it.
Hey, they're just wandering around this hotel convention center. It's amazing.
And like I said,
These are grown men.
I know. That's the best part of it. They are well in their 40s and 50s.
And I love that the one product that we associate with Macho Man Randy Savage is packaged spice meats that you buy at the cash register. Like, it's great. Perfect. Yeah, let's do it.
Somebody showed up as the Iron Sheik, who is his nemesis. Like, he got swarmed by all the Macho Men.
Even just think about what a great American brand Slim Jim is. Like, you snap into it. It literally makes a popping sound when you eat it, and you're like, how does that work with meat? I don't know, man. You're asking too many questions. This is prepackaged spice meats. Just go with it.
I literally had jerky for the first time in my life in the last year. Like, I just never looked appealing to me on road trips, just like pure, like sodium meat. But then Cohen got into it. And so I had one and I was like, okay, these are amazing. And they taste like pepperonis. And
wait, now I think you're conflating beef jerky with Slim Jims. Beef jerky is
I've only had Slim Jims. I've never had the weird real jerky.
Yeah.
I've only had Slim Jims.
I don't think Slim Jim constitutes jerky. Like, jerky is like dried out jerkified meat. Slim Jim is its own concoction.
It's like baby pepperonis. It's great.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't like it?
It's like a hot dog where you don't really know what's inside of it. I think.
The less you
like
know,
hot
the
dogs.
better. Right. Like, all I know is Macho Man seems to be fully in on this product, and I'm just going to go with it. But it's a great American product. Is he?
I think so. Hold on. The internet will correct me. Macho Man is well and alive. He's living in Florida, and he's
actually your neighbor. This is so interesting to me because
he did pass away over 10 years ago. You're correct.
Oh, R.I.P.
It's all the cocaine, man.
Probably. I feel like the only thing I'm learning so much about the WWE.
His diet is Slim Jims and cocaine. Of course he's dead.
Yeah. I'm going to feel terrible if I already feel bad because he's passed away, but I was going to say he overdosed on Slim Jims. Which is shocking.
I'm sure it didn't help.
He did not overdose on Slim Jims. Here's a link to the correct cause of death of Randy Savage.
Yeah, which is shockingly common among 90s celebrities.
Was his real name Randy Savage?
Macho Man Randy Savage.
But like, was that because I'm not gonna lie, like Randy
His
Savage
real
is a
name
cool
is
name.
Randy Mario Poffo. Poffo.
Okay, Randy Savage is a much better name.
Yeah, he tragically he had a heart attack at 58. But
he was an American professional wrestler, actor, rapper, and professional baseball player. He's best known for his time in the World Wrestling Federation and World Championship Wrestling. Oh, he went over to the WCW with Hulk, huh?
Yeah,
interesting.
What a again. Look what the World Wildlife Federation took from us.
They're saving pandas and they're taking our childhood. Come on.
Those pandas can fend for themselves.
It is always interesting to see how many like WWE or WWF wrestlers like try to transition into acting because that's just
like The Rock.
Well, yeah,
John
Cena. Dave Bautista, I assume he looks like he was in wrestling for a while. Like, it's just interesting that I don't know. They try to go on, but like not like specifically those actors. Well, with the exception of The Rock, aren't just doing action. Like they are trying to do maybe like comedy or other things. I don't know. It's just funny
because it's an extension of professional wrestling. Professional wrestling is acting.
You're portraying a character.
It is like, I mean,
it's improv. You're remembering lines and scenes and bits.
It's literally theater. Like it is theater with fake fighting mixed in. It's theater with stage fighting.
These are buff theater kids, is what you're saying.
They really are. Like if you boil it down, these are theater productions that they perform weekly.
That's
that just happen to be centered around stage fighting. You know what I mean? Like that's all it is. Like if you ever watch it, it's over dramatic acting as if they're performing like community theater, and it's centered around a stage choreographed fight scene. I don't have any problem with it, but it is what it is, and it's a successful formula.
I guess it's just funny to me when these actors, like when they try to do something that's like I'm thinking specifically of like John Cena or like Dave Bautista, where it's not just physical comedy, like they actually are trying to be funny or be sincere or something. I don't know, like there is kind of like they're trying to have some depth there, and I love it. Sometimes they're great at it, so I love that for them. Not The Rock, he's not a great actor, I'm so sorry to say, but he's fun to look at.
He's the most popular one.
But he just like plays himself, Have
you seen that grid like on social media where it's like The Rock playing like these are 8 different movies and he's wearing like safari fatigues and safari shirts in every single one of them. And he's in the jungle for some reason in every single one of them. And it's like he literally is doing the same movie again and again.
But who can blame the guy? You found a great formula for a movie. Like put him in the jungle in a safari tee, occasionally put Chris Hart
See what
there.
happens.
You got to hit.
Put a little sidekick next to him, and then the contrast
Literally,
of
a little
big
sidekick.
guy and a little funny guy, or
$1 million right there.
I'm not going to besmirch him.
He would murder
mainly
you.
out of fear of physical repercussions.
All right, well, we have a great show. Moving things along. Stay tuned. Up next, it's Relevant Buzz.
All hopped up on supplements, Slim Jims, and who knows what else.
You're listening to Good Neighbors. The song is Espresso. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tim Tebow's book, Look Again. Have you ever wondered what would change if you truly believed you were infinitely valuable to God? In his New York Times bestselling book, Look Again, Tim Tebow reveals the powerful truth that when we learn to see the image of God in every person, including those we struggle to love, everything changes. Tebow shares incredible stories from his work with people the world often overlooks, and it will challenge you to stand up to the lies, rediscover the worth that everyone has, and impact the world for good. Find Look Again by Tim Tebow, available now wherever books are sold.
Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
Tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week, Emily.
Okay, well, Christian music had a really kind of big week last week. There were 2 Christian artists who reached the top of the global charts.
iTunes charts.
It's the top of the iTunes charts. So the first one is Forrest Frank, who dropped his debut Christian album, Child of God, and it hit number 1 on the iTunes album charts. And not just the Christian charts, I mean all albums everywhere, number 1.
Like he beat Shabuzi,
Yeah, he knocked off just all these artists and stuff, which is really incredible for a Christian album to do. Very exciting for him.
Independent too. He's 100% independent, which is crazy.
Yeah. So definitely a big notable moment. And then the second artist is Brandon Lake, a friend of the show. His song, That's Who I Praise, hit the top of the All Songs chart on iTunes. And he did bump off Shabuzi's A Bar Song specifically, which I took as a true summer miracle because no offense, but I kind of hate that song. So I was really excited last week.
You live in Nashville. I thought that was the official theme song of your city.
Not my Nashville. It was, I got outvoted. I didn't want that to be the song, but it unfortunately is. And it's like everywhere you go in Nashville, that's all you hear.
Good.
Really?
As it should be.
I've heard it too much. Sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy because I'm like, am I actually hearing it? Or is it just like implanted in my head?
Your subconscious. Yeah. Well,
yeah. So
the only time I've heard it is little clips on social media. I don't listen to like radio stations that play that music, you know? So
walk into any establishment in Nashville and there's a good chance it's playing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
As it should.
Anyway, so Brandon Lake and Forrest Frank, they were number one on the song and album charts at the exact same time. And then they both realized it, like what was happening. Like, look, there's a Christian on that chart. So then they started like cross posting each other at the top. It was kind of funny to watch the whole thing play out on social media. Cause then like, I think Brandon dropped to like number 2 or 3 and Forrest Frank then told his fans, go buy his song to get him back up to number 1. And it was really cool just to see them supporting each other, you know? So congrats to those two guys. Yeah.
Thrilled for them. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is a new change that might be coming to X or Twitter, as I will forever call it. But Elon's already made a lot of like changes to the platform, but there's a new one kind of based on a sneak peek a user got from this next update that he's going to be hiding visible count likes, repost tallies, and comment numbers on posts. And, just to clarify, like if you're not on Twitter or you don't really know what I'm talking about, when you scroll through your feed, you can see these different metrics at the bottom of a tweet. And with this new update, it would more just look like your messaging app where it's just person's name and picture and then what they said. So you don't know kind of
all the little
numbers.
Icons underneath, the little heart and the numbers. And so Instagram, Facebook, it's a familiar thing. So yeah. So he'd strip all that. Now, granted, I do want to clarify our write-up because I read this write-up a couple days ago. Clarified that they haven't announced this change, but a person who went through the beta code of an iOS update noticed that it is in the code, and it looks like they're going to be testing it. And basically, that'll fundamentally change social media if you're hiding engagement counts.
I actually, maybe this is people may disagree, and I'm fine with that. I don't take it personally. So come at me, RFK Jr. fans. But I've thought about this a lot. I think that's a positive thing. And I'm sure there's going to be unintended consequences or results of this that I haven't thought through. But I think the idea right now of displaying all of this on the front end, it's almost like a scorecard for who can be the most sort of witty, or on the other side of the coin, who can be the most outwardly provocative, or the most outwardly like provoking in not a positive way. Like it incentivizes engagement, whether that engagement is positive or negative. Some people don't care about the ratios. Some people don't care that if more people are commenting and, hate responding than liking, they're just doing it to get a reaction. And I think taking away like the scorecard for ideas and the scorecard for conversation, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing personally.
So two thoughts as we saw this go around, obviously posted about it. The reason why this caught our eye from like an ethics standpoint is, the data is getting clearer and clearer every year that of the mental health toll that social media has on people, especially younger people. So it's like, I post and then nobody likes it. I feel bad about myself, and so like, that's why engagement counts going away could be better for mental health. Great. That's the pro. I'm the cynic. I think that it's for other purposes that he would do this. He has talked about the reason why when they hid the ability to go see what content people like, you could look on somebody's profile and see all of the recent likes. And obviously it would come out like athletes liking inappropriate accounts and different things. Like it would go around, people would screenshot it. Elon said that he removed that function from Twitter because he wanted people to feel more free to like and engage fringe accounts. And he didn't want them to be publicly shamed for engaging conspiracy accounts and Q accounts and things like that. Right. So he took it off so fringe accounts would get more engagement. That's why he did it. He said that. Okay. My skepticism is that he's trying to discredit legitimate accounts and try to level the playing field so fringe or illegitimate accounts or bot accounts would look as credible. So you have a legitimate source saying something and you can see in your feed that it has 800 likes. This is probably credible. The next fringe report underneath it has 1 like. This is probably a bot. This is probably not accurate. Remove that filter and they look like they're both equally credible. And to me, that's why he's probably doing it, even though the unintended consequence might actually be positive in mental health. It may be elevating fringe and false information, and you can't tell visually who's credible and who's not. Because if they have a check, that means they just paid the subscription fee. So I could look like a legitimate account, say stuff that's complete fabrications, and you won't be able to know, are people liking this, or am I a real source, whatever. And I think that's why he's doing it.
Do kind of like your own research, which, as we know,
RFK has 43% of the vote. If you look at this poll here that my mom posted last night.
Yeah. Well, and like I certainly think those are valid concerns. But I also think too, like, there's been a very monolithic approach to social media interfaces where like YouTube, for example, I think it makes sense to have view counts out there. It's because I don't think the mental health toll is necessarily the same risk. I mean, it's different types of content, and it's helpful to see, what kind of long form content on the video platform is worth investing your time into. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or like on
people want to be at a party that's full. They see a video has 2 million views. Oh, this must be good. Let me check it out. They see it has 2 views. I'll probably pass.
Because the value the barrier to entry and the value proposition, what you're asking for the user is much higher. Like I'm asking you to sit down and watch something for 5 to 10 minutes on a video. It's not like I want to read this tweet and determine how credible it is, But then you look at like Reddit, the whole reason Reddit works is because you can vote up and down the best or most credible content. If as long as there are mediums like that still preserve that functionality, I think some kind of pivoting and taking a more Wild West approach might not necessarily be a bad thing, because up to now, everyone has kind of followed the same formula. If it was across the board and it went away, if voting went away on Reddit and views went away on YouTube, I think it could be a problem. But if it's just isolated and you kind of know going into Twitter, look, it is just kind of Wild West. I don't think it's as problematic if it happened across the board,
Yeah, I'm curious to see, A, do they actually roll this out? B, what difference it makes. I mean, it's interesting. Definitely potential to go good or bad. So
Yeah. Right now it's like all just kind of like theorizing and stuff. But I do agree, Jesse. I think if this like goes to other platforms, I think it could have maybe a bigger impact, like on, like you said, like YouTube or Instagram. Like if you can hide that, what impact does that have, good and negative? I don't know. I think we're kind of entering interesting territory here.
I think I agree with Jesse that we should leave YouTube alone. Like, but I do think Instagram would benefit from hiding like counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just there's really no positive of them.
When I was looking into this, I was looking up studies about really just the positive, negatives, and like there are so many studies, just literally experts saying like looking at like counts is like impacting young people's health, like definitively. Like there's not like a debate here. It is impacting it. We have to do something. So that I do agree. I think there could be positive changes. Let's hope it's only positive changes and no negative changes. Fingers crossed. But we'll see how that plays out. Anyways, last thing, just want to wrap this up. Christian hip hop artist Aaron Cole was recently on Sway in the Morning for an interview. The whole thing is honestly really great. You should go check it out. It's about 20 minutes. But we wanted to highlight one part from it. It's his freestyle. We're going to play it here, and I think you'll understand why it caught our attention.
Man, we on Sway in the morning. This was on the vision board, Sway.
This on the vision board?
This was on the vision board. I remember Kurt Franklin told me I was too young to have a vision board. I was like, man, it's working. It's working.
It's working. It came to fruition, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This was on this vision board. Dreams do come true.
Yeah.
You got to work on them. The dreams are in you.
Look.
Let's go, Eric Cole.
Hey, look, sorry I changed head to toe, that's how my fashion go. I just left the overseas, I'm international. I was writing raps at Washington Lee Elementary. That just goes to show you what this meant to me. I'ma be the one that's relevant for centuries. You never learn when you do more talking than you listening. You can't tell me that God ain't good, cause where I am now is how I picture me. This a Kodak moment, I'm blacking out. When God tell me to move, best believe that I'm crashing out. If anyone got something to say, then it's the South. No Andre, but if it's a demon, we casting out. It's peer pressure in every song, all their music is forced. If they was a picture frame, they couldn't hang with the boy. Look, they said I couldn't make it if I sang for the Lord, yeah. And now I'm on Sway and I'm paying it forward, yeah. Cause I gotta tell them they can get their dreams by any means. Look, everything I spit is fresh like Listerine. Box office numbers ever since I hit the scene. Look, ever since my teens, we ain't gon' act like this norm. I've been through the storm and I shoot with the best of them. You can tell from my form. I went straight to the stage. I ain't had time for the dorm. And now the world waking up cause Sway rang the alarm. Look,
loved seeing that. Like I knew Aaron was like super versatile. Like he can sing, he can write, he can rap. But like to see him go on like mainstream hip hop, like doing a freestyle on Sway and like getting like it going well, is like a rite of passage in the hip hop trajectory for an artist. Honestly, it's like getting on Breakfast Club. You know, it's like that's a big moment. So it's cool seeing Aaron go on there and do us proud. Like it was cool seeing that. It was good.
It does feel like Christian music is, I don't know, maybe having like a good mainstream, like we were talking about earlier, like Forrest Frank and Brandon Lake, like they're the top of the charts. Aaron Cole's on this. Like, I don't know. I think I'm excited, like kind of just for this next season of Christian music. I think it's getting like really widespread.
It is. I can't put my finger on it, but something's happening.
Yeah. I think, well, again, this is another, just talking about sort of like the democratization of media consumption. You know, I think there are less gatekeepers, and, you know, if people, particularly like Christian listeners are digging an artist, there aren't the same gatekeepers there used to be of like, oh, is this going to be on a top 40 or mainstream radio? People don't really care. Something can take off on social media or on Spotify on its own, or YouTube on its own merit. And then that kind of bleeds out. It's kind of the same conversation we were talking about before to a different aspect. You're kind of putting the power in the hands of the consumer instead of, you know, like I said, some sort of gatekeeper. And I think this is, if in my personal, like kind of, not opinion, but guess would be, this is a result of that. This is a result of not some record executive saying, I think we need to silo artists like this, and that, kind of saying, look, if you guys like it, you know, it's going to go, people are going to recognize that it's liked, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, for more stuff like that, go check out relevantmagazine.com every day, where we are covering the intersection of faith, culture, and everything in between. Thanks, Emily. All right. Stay tuned. Up next, Sean Curran joins us.
I need you like a sick man needs a physician. I need you like a helping man on a mission. But I need you more. I need you more. I need you more.
You're listening to Josiah Queen and Henrik. The song is I Need You More.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by John Mark Comer's book, Garden City, a book that speaks to the tension we all feel between work, rest, and purpose. The New York Times bestselling author John Mark Comer takes us to the scriptures to identify what it really means to be human and flips the script on the idea that who you are matters, not what you do. He shows that God created us for meaningful work and meaningful rest. Both matter. This book helps you ask and answer the big questions. Does God care where I work? Is there a direction for my life? So you can discern God's heart for your calling, your rhythms, and the way His Spirit wants to shape every part of your life. If you're longing for purpose and a more grounded way to live, check out the new hardcover edition of Garden City wherever books are sold.
Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Curran McManus's book, The Barbarian Way. Some books don't just inspire you, they confront you. The Barbarian Way, now celebrating its 20th anniversary, is one of those books. If you felt the pull of God towards something deeper and wilder than the safe, predictable version of faith that we settle for, McManus reminds us that following Jesus was never meant to be tame. It's meant to awaken courage, passion, and purpose God placed inside us. He draws from the wild stories of Abel, Noah, Moses, Rahab, and others to remind us that following God wasn't meant to be tame. Safe faith isn't working. Step into the story God is writing for you. Choose passion, choose boldness, choose the Barbarian Way. Available now wherever books are sold.
Well, our guest today is Sean Curran. He's a worship artist and friend of the show who's dropping his brand new album, Basic Faith, today. Sean opens up to us about how he created this project after wrestling with big questions and the struggles of daily life, and how he hopes to inspire other Christians to get back to the basics of our faith. Here's our conversation with Sean Curran.
I surrender all the ways I complicate this common grace. Reignite that.
I really love the title of the album, Basic Faith, because I think a lot of times we want this, extraordinary faith. But when I reflect on my own life, some of the most powerful moments have happened in normal day-to-day things. Why do you think we're always looking for something more?
You are speaking the language that I'm trying to excavate in these songs, because I can only speak for myself, but I feel like in my community and in my friendships, and from what I sense, there is a bit of cognitive dissonance around this area for us in our culture. Because I think what often happens, and what has happened to me, is that we grow up in church. I've actually been walking with the Lord for longer now than I haven't been. And that's a precious thing to me. But I've also become a professional at encountering God in these spectacular settings. But then what happens as you get a little bit older sometimes, and you got some dirt underneath your fingernails, you might realize that you don't know how to encounter God in your everyday life. But that's where we spend most of our time. God must be there. He must want to reveal himself there. And it's been a really beautiful thing for me to maybe just stare a little longer and see what's actually right in front of me,
Here's my yes and amen. It's yours. Here's my yes and amen.
What are some things you do to connect with God in your own time on a day-to-day basis?
Some of it is almost a renewed appreciation for more liturgical things. That we have an awesome tradition of spiritual practices that have been handed down to us and cultivated for us, that it kind of stitches us in to this beautiful arc of Christianity. And even just something as simple as the Lord's Prayer, I've tried to reintroduce that as a theme in my life, where maybe 2 or 3 times a day I just utter the prayer to myself. I could be doing dishes or playing with my daughters, or driving in Atlanta traffic. Like what's going to calm me down? What's going to remind me of these things that I really feel like are wrapped up in the best way to be human, and this Jesus, that I'm actually wanting to be an apprentice under, this rabbi. What does it mean to live that way? Well, he told us to pray this way. What if I just tried to say that enough to where that habit is something I try to do, and if I do it long enough, it actually starts to do something to me in small, subtle, simple steps. You look back over the course of 6 months, and maybe you've been shaped into the likeness of God a little bit. So I think that's a different idea, a different set of values, a different aim than what you might hope to encounter in like a spectacular setting. And I spent a lot of time in those settings, and those were some of the settings some of the first settings I met God. And so I really understand them and why they exist. I just think on a practical level, they're even at best, we're in them maybe once a week for an hour. We spend most of our time in our real lives. And I think, the more time I spend in the Gospels, it seems like Jesus is doing a lot of real life. He's having dinner with people, particularly people that the religious people don't want to have dinner with. He's living, and he's telling stories, and he's getting people to try to actually be present with what's in their hands. And I'm trying to do that as a husband and as a father. It's just a remarkable thing. I'm drawing these comparisons a lot because they're close to my heart, but in the same way, I'm trying to redefine some of these terms that I have in me and I think are meaningful, but I want to stretch them and widen them. I'm less interested in what revival looks like in a room these days. I'm more interested in what revival means to be a good dad, to be a good husband. Is the fruit of the Spirit over the arc of time? What kind of fruit am I bearing in the areas of my life that last? Do they look more and more like Jesus? That sounds like revival to me.
So it sounds like you're saying instead of overcomplicating our faith, we should really just be asking ourselves the simple question of what does it mean to look more like Jesus? Is that right?
Yeah. I like the word basic too, because I think what I was trying to tease out of that word was something closer to fundamental, foundational. Because that's where it actually gets interesting, because the fundamental questions, they've haunted us since the dawn of time. Why are we here? What is our purpose? Humanity has been searching for that forever. We've been kind of mystified by it, and I'm of the belief that Jesus gives us the compass for that. But that's a faith that takes a lifetime and is a really winding road. And I think it might be a little misleading if I were to try and say that faith is a simple thing, because I do not think it is. I think it's nurturing and rewarding and takes a lot of trust. I actually think sometimes we get a little off base if we have this tendency to conflate faith with something like certainty. I think there's a short-term effect that makes us feel better when we do that. But I also think it's a bit of false advertisement because, the more certainty you have, the less faith you need, right? We're actually supposed to be people who trust God, not because we know what's coming around the corner, but because we have this remarkable, unwavering trust in the one who's leading us. Because I've been through so many things in the past couple years of my life that still I don't have a good explanation for, I don't have, that is not how God has been comforting me. He hasn't just given me all the answers. So what bridges that gap? It's not certainty, it's faith. So that's another big theme in the record is, hey, if you sign up for this thing, it's worth it, but real faith takes a lifetime. So let's do it. Let's do the real thing,
Oh, I throw all my cares before you. My doubts and fears don't scare you. You're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought. I stop all negotiations with the God of all creation. You're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought you were.
That was Sean Curran. Make sure to check out his brand new album, Basic Faith. Comes out today. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback.
There's much to calculate. I'm no good at math, but you wanna articulate. Want to feel elastic, like in my younger days. Baby, you've got me calling out to the Milky Way.
You're listening to Milo. The song is Elastic.
Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by the new book, Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic. Author Jonathan Seidel knows firsthand how even believers can get stuck in shame and destructive habits, especially when it comes to one of society's biggest obsessions, alcohol. In Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic, he details his spiral into disordered drinking and shares the 4-step process he eventually used to break free. There's hope for alcoholics who become Christians and for Christians who become alcoholics. Find Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic wherever books are sold. What if you could change a child's life with just $10? Right now, thousands of vulnerable children in East Africa are suffering from jiggers. It's a painful, preventable parasite that burrows into their feet. Soul Hope is the only organization treating it through foot washing, medical care, and durable closed-toed shoes that protect kids long after treatment. $10 may not seem like much in today's world, but when we come together, those small gifts add up to big change. Join the 10 for 10 campaign. $10 protects 10 small toes. Visit soulhope.org/10 to give now. One small gift makes a big difference. Again, that's soulhope, SOLE, hope.org/TEN. Okay, it's time for your feedback. Last week, okay, I'm proud of you all. I'm proud of you, our dear listeners. So here's what happened. On last week's show, we got talking about AI apps. You know, how women are, there's studies that show, I'm not making 42% of women are, studies are showing that more and more women are finding relationships through AI apps. They're giving up on the dating scene. This is
AI companion apps specifically.
AI companion apps. Sorry, I misstated.
Not just ChatGPT.
So, right. They're actually like forming bonds, like the movie Her. Anyway, yeah. And so we, as a joke, because we like to tease Emily from time to time, made the question of the week, help Emily. Emily's giving up on the dating scene. So if she's going to go for an AI companion, tell us what attributes the AI companion should have to be a perfect boyfriend for Emily. Yes, that's what the question of the week was. And 0 of you answered because you all love Emily and did not want to join in on us teasing her. So I am proud of you for taking a stand. I'm talking, this is maybe twice in 15 years that we've had no replies to the question of the week. So
I love the positive spin you're taking on this, because I took it as like, oh, I'm like just truly so like the dating scene is just not for me, that they were like, we can't even help you. Like the internet was like, good luck.
No,
I didn't. Yeah.
This is the audience putting their foot down that they are pro Emily, and they will not abide us teasing you about.
They will not let me settle
AI
for an
dating.
AI boyfriend.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what? Thanks, internet. You finally have my back.
Yeah.
28% of men, dude. Anyway, sorry. I'm sure that's what that guy sounds like. All right. So instead of your feedback, we are going to do a little bit of burning questions. We got a few.
Like this. Sorry.
He sounds like Batman.
Like
No,
Bane?
like RFK. He's very sympathetic because he has a voice thing too.
He also has emphysema. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we have some burning questions. And so there you go. So I'm just going to ask you guys a couple things. Here we go. What is a hobby or skill you've always wanted to learn, but you haven't had the chance to yet?
I gotta be honest. It's totally juggling. Juggling and stage magic are two things.
I would have thought
that-
you said falconry. Okay. So stage magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
How come you're not an excellent magician yet?
I'm not excellent. But I said juggle. Like I can do a handful of cool card tricks. I said juggling. I think if you can add that into the mix, that's like magic with athleticism mixed into it. I would say juggling. It's very impressive whenever I see someone juggle.
You're one step away from clown once you go from magic to, you're going the reverse. You go.
No,
like Nate Bargatze's dad was clown and he graduated to magic. You're going from magic down to clown.
Don't you know that clowns and magicians are arch rivals for eternity? Like they are.
There's long-standing beef between them.
There is. It's clowns versus magicians. Anyway, I want to bridge that with juggling skills.
You're a bridge builder. Emily, what about you? Any?
This is gonna make me sound like a grandma, but I don't really care. I've always wanted to learn how to crochet. It just seems very interesting to me. I know how to sew, and there's something about crocheting that I just see people on TikTok post about, like there's simple little crochet blankets, and I'm like, you live such a peaceful life.
No,
I think
it's
actually what I want
depressing.
is the peaceful life.
Crochet is the opposite of juggling. Juggling is doing like a very complicated things with your hands and there's nothing to show for it. I'm not making anything. I'm just doing it to show off. Okay. That is the only reason you juggle, is to say, hey, look at me. I'm doing something cool and impressive. Crocheting, you kind of hide in the corner and do it, and you have something to show for your work. They're complete opposite activities. And I'm more of a juggling guy because I could buy an oven mitt. Okay.
I could see you doing, I could see you doing the, like Will Ferrell juggling from The Office, where he's like, I don't have the ball. I can just watch this.
He does inspirational.
Yeah.
The first time I
juggling
ever
acts.
saw that, I think I cried from laughing so hard.
You know, he did that in his SNL audition.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, literally,
saving
there's
it all
footage
these
of
years.
it. He saved it for a cameo on The Office.
That is maybe one of the funniest bits I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, you should see like young Will Ferrell's SNL audition. It's great.
I know what I'm doing after this podcast.
He did the Harry Carey. He did the invisible juggling. He did a bunch of stuff. All right, a couple more questions here. If you could have dinner with any three people, living or dead, who would they be and why? Jesse.
Any three people? Well, are we going to do the Bible thing? Can we say, because otherwise this is going to sound super spiritual. Let's just say no Bible characters.
No Bible. No Jesus, Moses, and John.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Living or
They
dead?
weren't on my list.
I would say
I have a few questions for David, honestly. Like, dude,
Yeah,
keep it in your
let's-
pants, man.
No, mine's Eve for sure. My goodness. So
I
many
would
questions for her.
I would say Nikola Tesla. I think he was onto some stuff. Real talk.
No, he really was. He literally was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wireless electricity and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I want to find out what really happened. Like what he knew before Edison sabotaged his life and conspired against it, because that really happened as well.
Yeah.
I would choose. Man, this is tough.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, obviously, and he would provide the Slim Jims for the meal. We would feast on various me, Macho Man Randy Savage, Nikola Tesla, and and I don't know. So just I had to have some wild card in there. Someone that would just like derail the whole. Like a Jacques Cousteau. I don't know. I need to give it some more thought.
So somebody who has like great stories or something.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like, do you want to go like brain trust? Like you go Warren Buffett and like brilliant genius people?
I don't care.
Or do you
I
go
can
great stories? That's true.
Yeah,
like that.
Tales from the Sea.
Explorers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
maybe a real pirate like Blackbeard or something. Just an old salty pirate. And he would love the Slim Jims too. because their diets lack salt.
Wait, so we're at Nikola Tesla, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Blackbeard?
That's right. And myself.
And just a platter full of Slim Jims.
And an obscene amount of Slim Jims. I feel like Blackbeard, he would appreciate that.
Oh, it's probably all he ate. On the open seas, he couldn't have any fresh food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Emily, what about you?
I mean, of course, I'm going to have Taylor there, obviously, any excuse I can have. But the two people that actually really did come to mind are Amelia Earhart and DB Cooper, because I just want to know what happened. Like, I need to figure out the truth.
Oh, Google, there's been updates in last year on Amelia. They pretty much they're sure they know where her plane is.
You think I'm going to trust the internet when I could just have dinner with him? When I could just have dinner with Amelia and ask her herself?
It's most likely ran out of gas. There's satellite scans of where they can kind of see the outline of a plane in the general area where they think she went down.
Right. Because the internet's never lied. Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, fair though. You can confirm it. I think you should also provide Slim Jims for your guest.
All right, last question. Here we go. Last burning question. This one's because of all the WWF Macho Man talk. This one caught my eye. What is one trend from your childhood or teenage years that you wish would make a comeback? Now, it maybe he's talking about a fashion trend or a music trend, but I was also other stuff you would have been into in those years.
You know, when I was a kid, we played street hockey quite a bit. I think it was largely because of the Mighty Ducks films. You know, I haven't seen street hockey going down in forever. Right. It was great.
Next time you visit, I'll get the net out and I got everything you need.
Street hockey, man. I have a lot of fond memories. I don't know what happened. Kids today aren't playing street hockey. It was a great time. Emily, what do you got?
See, it's funny because I feel like stuff from my childhood is kind of coming back around now, like right now. Yeah. So I'm trying to think what else. I mean, I know I've talked about this so much on this show. I need 2000 style dating shows to come back. Like, just insane. All the like MTV Next. Ones. Yeah. Next, Parental Control.
Yeah.
Honestly, even like just really any of the MTV
Singled
reality
out.
shows. Yeah. Just, they're so unhinged. Actually, what I specifically need is a Where Are They Now? Because like all of the contestants on the shows, specifically Next, and their crazy bios, I need to know how they ended up. I'm sure they're probably just, I don't know, working as an accountant now in somewhere in middle America, but maybe some of them are living interesting lives and we should learn into that.
Yeah,
so
I'm down.
That's what I want.
That's a great call.
I don't know if I answered your question, but I just needed to tell that.
Nothing was better after a long day of street hockey, like cracking some Slim Jims and watching Singled Out. It was great.
Some Sunny D, some Slim Jims.
This episode has been sponsored by Slim Jim, just in case anyone was wondering.
Snap into it. Or what's their tagline?
Snap into a Slim Jim, man.
Is that actually his tagline?
What did Macho Man say? He always said, like, he would, at the end of the commercial, he would say something.
Snap into a Slim Jim. Yeah. That was, and then he would actually snap into one.
All right. All right. It's time for this week's
editorial question of the week.
I want to know the last question. I want to know, what is a trend from your childhood or teenage years that you want to see make a comeback?
And defend it.
And tell us why. Yep. Hit us up on X at Relevant Podcast and or wherever else you see us post this question. We'll read our favorites on next week's show. Well, before we wrap things up, I want to thank Sean Curran for joining us today. Make sure to check out his new album, Basic Faith. It comes out today, wherever you get your music. Also, make sure to check out issue 115 of Relevant. The digital magazine features a cover story with the amazing A-list actress Letitia Wright and her new passion. Also, we have features with Colony House, Local Natives, Maya Moore, Judah and the Lion, and a lot more. Go check it out. You can click on the magazine tab at relevantmagazine.com and read the web version for free. If you want the beautifully designed digital magazine experience, you can get it with Relevant Plus. You get not only the digital magazine beautiful experience, you also get an ad-free version of this podcast, ad-free unlimited reading at relevantmagazine.com, and more. Plans start as low as $250 a month. Check it out. You can sign up right there at the website. All right, on that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Emily Brown.
We will see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks for
for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Look what the World Wildlife Federation took from us.
Relevant Podcast Network.